Please remain standing as our class of 2002 President, Justin Gray, and Secretary, Carrie Plourde, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and for the national anthem sung by the PRHS Women's Ensemble, the Sopranos, under the direction of Mrs. Susan Stockwell.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Carrie and Justin, and thank you, Sopranos. Good evening. I'm very pleased and proud to congratulate the third graduating class of Poland Regional High School. I'd also like to thank Mr. Larry Williams and the PRHS Band for providing us with the music for the evening. And also Joel LaBelle and Matt St. Pierre, Senior Class President and Treasurer, for serving as class marshals. I would like to introduce the people on stage this evening, beginning at my far left, Mr. Ray Lafreniere, Dean of Students. Next, Mr. Derek Pierce, current Dean of Faculty and our next principal. Mrs. Laurie Levine and Mr. Norman Davis, members of the Poland Regional High School School Committee. Dr. Robert Wall, Superintendent of Schools for Union 29. Mr. John Jenkins, our keynote speaker. and Mrs. Jacqueline Soychek, principal of Poland Regional High School. I am Nancy Violet, graduation advisor. Mrs. Soychek will begin our program today.
Thank you, Mrs. Violet, and welcome to all of you. There's barely an empty seat, and that's the way it should be, because a town's high school graduation is a very important ritual when you welcome the graduates into the community of adulthood. And I would like to welcome all of the dignitaries present, all of the parents, families, community members, knowing that every one of you has a piece of ownership in what is happening this evening. I have a special thank you and welcome to some people who have gone above and beyond by serving their time in our roundtable. Linda Chason and I have done an advisory, a roundtable, for 3 years. And these young people bravely dealt with my dual identity as principal and as their advisor or co-advisor. And many times I heard, yeah, I know we have to do it because the principal has to set the tone for the rest of the school. And they would roll their eyes in exquisite adolescent fashion and challenge us, give us a hard time. But the most important thing I think they did was teach us to be better teachers and learners. And so, Linda, Dasha is not here. She's gone back to the Ukraine. Jen, Shai, Chris, Andrew, Boris, Stella, and Jeff. Welcome to your dual event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Soychek. We will now hear from Dr. Robert Wall, who will add his congratulations to the class of 2002.
This graduation would not be a complete graduation without acknowledging Jackie Soychek for her vision and her commitment to Poland Regional High School during her tenure here. Jackie is moving on to other things in her career, but I think it is very, very appropriate to acknowledge the great influence that she had on this school. I welcome you to this celebration of the class of 2002. Their achievements at Poland Regional High School are individual and personal. In a modern society, our charge as a school is to provide knowledge and skills, to prepare students to use their own power and their own potential. Think of us as a school as a starter motor that brings to life the power that each student has for success. Education is not a cookie-cutter business, does not seek to standardize and provide interchangeable parts or products. It is a personal process, and providing the right gifts for the right people has been our challenge as a school. Yes, each of these students have mastered the standards set forth for graduation, but also each of them have been given opportunities to do more than that. This graduation is both a public event and also a private affirmation of each one of these young people as they go out into the world. What they have done during their high school years will be a basis for them to be successful in the years to come. I welcome you to this graduation and this joyous celebration today.
Thank you, Dr. Wall. Ms. Terry Baker, who is one of the roundtable advisors and class advisor for the class of 2002, will now greet the class.
You guys rock. First of all, I'd like to just, before I begin, take a moment to make sure that a very, very important group is recognized in this public format. They have made a huge effort to contribute to this graduation experience for these students. The parents of the Project Graduation Committee have put in innumerable hours and immeasurable effort to create a project graduation that's going to go down in PRHS history. Thank you. So my name's Terry Baker. This is Kristen Gilbert. We're the advisors of the class of 2002. Kristen's feeling a little quiet tonight, so she thinks she's just going to hang out here at the podium. Now, I'm not really sure how I got to this place. This was the class about whom we had to have a special meeting before the school even opened to warn us. We then later on had a roundtable advisor meeting, and our roundtable coordinator said, you know, this class has to have a class advisor. And all of us sat there, and we studied the tiles on the ceilings, and we studied our shoes, and we kind of avoided eye contact, and finally, Kristen said, I'll do it. And I thought, phew, I've avoided that peril. Then I came in, Winter Carnival, year 2000. I came in before school, and everybody had their posters up where everybody was signing up for events, and for some reason that blue tape just wasn't holding that time, and they were all on the floor. I started picking up the posters, and I was reading people's names as I was picking up the posters, and I said, wow, he's such a cool kid. Wow, she's really great. Wow. And I started saying, they are a neat class. And I said, I gotta get involved in this. I want to be part of this. And so Winter Carnival 2000 was when I became one of your advisors, and I also feel like that was the year that this class really came together as a class. Now, that was the year we won second place in Winter Carnival, but it also propelled you guys on to win first place in every single spirit contest for the next 2 years, as is demonstrated on our video. So in that way, I started to work with you guys. And then I discovered that that was the secret. Anyone who called you the class from wherever it was, They just really hadn't gotten to know you guys as individuals. Are you opinionated? Yeah. Do you stiffen your spines when somebody doesn't treat you with respect? You bet. Are you willing to fight for what you believe in? You really do. But you know what? Those things aren't bad. Those are the attributes that are marks of strengths and marks of character and marks of integrity and marks of leadership. And the class of 2002 is all that. And I am extremely proud to be one of your advisors. As a class, you guys are a huge presence in this school. Your spirit permeates every tile of those hallways. There's going to be a huge vacuum after you leave. You guys are not just a bunch of students who all happen to be graduating the same year. You are the class of 2002. And Ms. Gilbert and I are just bursting with pride tonight that we have this great fortune to be part of your experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Our first student honors speaker this evening is class salutatorian Jessie Minahan.
Good evening. Two peanuts were walking down the street. One was assaulted. Dumb jokes. We hear them almost every day. We tell them almost every day. We constantly hear the blonde jokes, the lawyer jokes, the baby jokes, and of course, the infamous talking sausage joke. What is it about these that are so appealing to us? Humor. It may be dumb humor, but it does the trick. What better way to relieve a stressful situation than with a joke? We have always been heard that laughter is the best medicine, and it's certainly true. Mindless situations and pointless jokes are a great way to take your mind off something serious. I can recall many times when I was trying to work on a paper or, say, a graduation speech the night before it was due, and just started laughing to myself because I thought of a funny joke. Most of the time, it was something to take my mind off the project and procrastinate some more. But most of the time, it's just an opportunity to take a quick break from work and enjoy myself. And that small, funny moment in time provided something I couldn't get from work, a simple pleasure. Life is full of them, but most of them go unrecognized. Now, I am by no means trying to encourage you to procrastinate, or even to think of dumb jokes while you do work. I'm more trying to get across the point that sometimes you need to take a step back out of the seriousness of everyday life and spare a moment for a simple pleasure. Life is too short to take so seriously. There are going to be, of course, times when you're going to have to be serious. But I say the rest of the time, kick back and enjoy yourself. Tell a good or bad joke, laugh it up, and enjoy life. You can be serious, but still have a good time. Laugh at yourself, because you're going to make stupid mistakes. We've all made them, and we're going to continue making them. Laugh every second that you can, because there's going to be way more than enough time to be serious. Laugh until your sides hurt. Laugh until you cry. Laugh until you cannot laugh anymore. Enjoy yourself, your peers, your life. And please, never lose your sense of humor, for it is one thing that cannot be replaced. You can always get a heart or kidney transplant, but once your sense of humor is gone, it'll be gone forever. I'd now like to end with a little bit of humor of my own. I hope you enjoy it. Okay. There once was this cookie, here's a smart cookie, chocolate chip with a little bit of vanilla, and he's cruising along in his tractor trailer truck, just cruising along, and all of a sudden he gets out and starts running. Well, a cop sees him running, chases the cookie down, grabs him by the arm and says, "Bad cookie! If you do this 2 more times, I'm going to throw you in the ocean." So he throws the cookie back in the truck. And the cookie's a little depressed, but he's okay. So he keeps driving along, and this time he's careful, checks his mirror to make sure the cop isn't behind him. and he gets out and starts running. And the cop's a good cop, has been following his blind spot the whole time. So the cop gets out, chases the cookie down, grabs him by the arm and says, "Bad cookie! If you do this one more time, I'm going to throw you in the ocean." So he throws the cookie back in the truck. And this time the cookie, he's a little upset, but he's okay, he's going to survive. So he keeps on driving along in his tractor-trailer truck down the highway. And this time, he waits until the black of night when the clouds cover the moon, pulls off into this little dark alleyway, and gets out and starts running. Well, the cop, is a very good cop, has been following the entire time and sees the cookie running, chases the cookie down, grabs him by the arm and says, "Bad cookie! I told you if you did this one more time, I'd throw you in the ocean." So he threw the cookie in the ocean. All right, ready? Okay. Now, what do you call this? What do you call this? And what do you call this? Okay. One more and then I promise I'm done. All right. There's this guy, he works in a little fish shop. He doesn't make much money, enough to get by. So he's been with his girlfriend for a few years, and he really loves her, and he wants to marry her. So he sets up a date at the nicest restaurant in town, and, a big fancy restaurant because he's going to propose. And after work, he goes out to the jewelry store and buys the most beautiful ring he can afford. So he goes and buys that. And he's out on the street just admiring it, because it's sparkling and pretty. And as he's admiring it, some jerk bumps him and the ring goes flying into the ocean. And he's like, "Oh no, what do I do?" He doesn't have a cell phone, so he can't cancel his date. He doesn't have any more money in the bank, so he doesn't really know what to do. So he just decides to go on the date. And so they go, and they're sitting down and talking, and she notices he's a little down, but she doesn't say anything. And so they order their food. She gets clams, and he gets lobster. And the food comes, and all of a sudden, she opens up the clam, and it's like, guess what was inside? The cookie. Never lose your sense of humor. Thank you.
Thanks, Jesse. Hopefully when we think back on this night, we'll remember that and all try and keep a little bit of humor in our lives. We'll now hear the Poland Regional High School Chorus under the direction of Mrs. Stockwell sing "To Everything There Is a Season" by Ed Harris. Our second student honors speaker this evening is the class valedictorian, Kimberly Cash.
This is a little high. I'll just tell you right now, mine's not as funny as Jesse's, so. I've always lived in Poland. My friends all live here too. We go to Poland Regional High School. We're happy that we do. Our school is at the corner of a patch of land not bought. It looks like any other school, but we suspect it's not. I think we're learning lots of things not taught at other schools. Our teachers are remarkable. They make up their own rules. One day we were telling jokes and making noise when Dr. Wall appeared and howled, "Attention, girls and boys." He began to fuss and fidget, scratch and mutter, sneeze and cough. He shook his head so hard we thought his glasses would come off. He wrung his hands, he cleared his throat, he shed a single tear, then sobbed, "I've something to announce, and that is why I'm here. All schools for miles and miles around must take a special test to see who's learning such and such, to see which school's the best. If our small school does not do well, then it will be torn down, and you will have to go to school in dreary Flaubertown." "Not Flaubertown," we shouted, and we shuddered at the name, for everyone in Flaubertown does everything the same. It's miserable in Flaubertown. They dress in just one style. They sing one song. They never dance. They march in single file. Then Miss Soychek rose. "Don't fret," she said. "You've learned the things you need to pass that test and many more. I'm certain you'll succeed. We've taught you that the earth is round, that red and white make pink, and something else that matters more. We've taught you how to think." If what I just read to you sounds a little bit familiar, that's because it's from Dr. Seuss's Hooray for Diffin' Do for Day. And with the exception of a few word changes I made to make it the tale more personal to our experience here, aside from that, the story was written, as was read, 15 years ago by Dr. Seuss. And even then, there was someone that envisioned a school that did things very differently, yet still prepared its students well and enabled them to meet the standards that everyone else could meet. When I first read this book, it immediately seemed like Dr. Seuss had written this about our school. I particularly like the last line I read, "We've taught you how to think." I believe that this is one of the most important things we've learned here, and being able to think for ourselves has got us to where we are today and will prepare us for the future. For this reason, although I tried to come up with some piece of advice or message to give to you, I'm not going to, because you don't need any advice from me. If we can make it through these past 3 years, facing and overcoming all the obstacles that come with a new school and this town in particular, then we can probably make it through just about anything. We are prepared and we are ready for whatever life brings our way. And I'm just going to move this a little bit. These weren't just any 3 years of high school. They were the first 3 years here, and more importantly, they were our 3 years. They were at times disorganized, frustrating, challenging, and yes, even controversial. Remember when the grading system and honors challenge were the most hotly debated topics around here? Or when the color purple simply implied the title of an Alice Walker novel? Well, neither do I, because with all the recent concerns and issues that we've had, it is hard to recall everything else that has stood in our way. But there has been a lot, and yet here we are, 3 years later, graduating, just like any other high school seniors who have not had to face as much adversity as we have. What other graduating class can say they helped create a school, design a curriculum, establish tradition, and then work to fine-tune all of these things in only 3 short years? There aren't any. No one else has had this same high school experience. And on top of all that, when all these wonderful things we were doing just weren't good enough for those around us, and we found ourselves again at the center of controversy, we simply raised the bar. We defended ourselves, our teachers, and our school. And regardless of how our parents, teachers, the administration, or even the community responded to these trying times, we, the class of 2002, came out of all of this remarkably unscathed. We kept an open mind when it seemed like those around us refused to. We put smiles on our faces at times when there wasn't a whole lot to smile about. And yes, we continued to eat the school lunch even when there wasn't enough ketchup to hide the taste. And have you ever tried eating lunch with Angie when there's not enough ketchup? Not a pretty sight. But seriously, as Ms. Baker touched upon here, we didn't compare notes, obviously. Our class has been accused of many things, not all of them good. But one thing they have never and can never accuse us of is having a lack of spirit. Whether it be coming together to prove just that we do have the most spirit and we can have the most fun, as evident through our consecutive victories at homecoming and winter carnival events over the past years, or it's getting politically involved in our school, going to school board meetings, making them listen to what we have to say, working with them, and being involved in the decision-making process. We always seem to come together and get the job done. In both work and play, even if you don't always like our approach to getting the job done, you have to admit we almost always accomplish our goal. The most recent example of this is when we learned that there was a chance that our class trip just wouldn't happen. We didn't just sit around and complain to each other. Instead, we decided to do something about it. We had worked hard to plan the trip. We knew we deserved it. So we went to the school board to support our trip and our advisors. We made compromises, some minor changes, and most importantly, we didn't take no for an answer. We have never let the negativity of a few people crush our spirit, and I don't think we ever will. So I just want to say again that I think you guys are all amazing, and I'm very proud to be a part of this class. And in the words of my good friend and fellow graduate, Josh Gallup, wouldn't want to be shafted with anyone else. And as a final note, I've been asked by my classmates to take advantage of my opportunity to be the one that gets to stand up here and speak to all of you, so I will. And per their request, and on behalf of the class of 2002, I'd like to sincerely thank our two senior class advisors, Ms. Baker and Ms. Gilbert. They've worked very hard over the past 3 years, and they are greatly responsible for the reason why we are able to maintain our wonderful spirit. And lots of times your efforts and long hours go unnoticed by many, but we want you to know that we recognize all that you do, and we appreciate it very much. So Ms. Baker and photograph of Ms. Gilbert, if you could come up here, and our class president, Justin Gray, will present you with flowers. Thank you guys again, and congratulations, good luck, and rock on 02!
Thank you, Kim. Our keynote speaker this evening has had a varied and distinguished career. He has over 35 years' experience teaching wellness and personal development, and is currently a community development consultant. He earned his BA in psychology from Bates College and did graduate work at Harvard and Columbia University. His professional endeavors have ranged from serving on the executive board of the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, to being a wellness consultant for CBS, to authoring children's books. He has earned the National Education Achievement Award and the Chamber of Commerce Community Leadership Award. He is 5-time World Martial Arts champion and is in the Lewiston-Auburn Sports Hall of Fame, the Maine State Sports Hall of Fame, and the World Martial Arts Hall of Fame. He is a former mayor of Lewiston and Maine State Senator. I am very pleased to introduce the Honorable John Jenkins.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'd first like to start out by saying two of the most important words that I've ever learned are the words, thank you. And I hope the graduates grab those two words and use them liberally through the rest of your lives and careers. But I want to thank you, administrators. I want to thank you, faculty, and staff. I want to thank you, the graduates themselves, the class advisors, and also I want to say congratulations as well for 80% that you folks are going on to continue your learning. And last but not least, I want to thank you, the families, who really did a lot of heavy lifting to make this a great school. So give yourselves a round of applause saying thank you very much. I also would like to acknowledge that I think Sunday is Father's Day, and I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to all the men that are out in the audience. Big round of applause. However, I'd like to also say Happy Father's Day to all you mothers who have to wear both hats. So there are many people doing double duty. Well, my talk this afternoon and this evening is really brief and to the point. I know you're saying, thank goodness, we're going to get out of here. And there's 5 more lessons that I would like you to hear today, and those 5 lessons I'll share with you now. I call them 5 lessons of success for life. And the 5 lessons are these. I may encourage you to learn to look, to listen, to learn, to lead, to love. To look. Well, that's lesson 1, to look. If you've heard this saying, please finish it. Seeing is, see, this is the fast group. I like this group. This is believing. Very good class and very good family members. However, I think it's really the other way around. I think believing affects your, for if you believe someone to be a liar, then everything they say to you will seem doubtful. If you believe someone to be a thief, every move they make will look suspicious. So I don't think seeing is believing, but I say to you, my friends, that believing is seeing. So learn to look with clear eyes, for rarely do we see things as they are. Often we see things as we are. If you have a scratch on your cornea, it's painful, of course. But every time you look out and you open your eyes and you look at the world, you see this imperfection on the world. Someone says, oh, look at my cute baby. Yeah, it was a cute baby, but got a big scratch on it. What's up with that? Look at my beautiful painting. I paid a lot of money for it. Yeah, it's a nice painting, but there's a big old scratch on it, man. What's up with that? So I ask you to recognize your own imperfections. Recognize your stuff as we look at the world so that we can see the world with clearer eyes. So lesson 1 is learn to look. But also in looking, I ask you to learn to look and seek wisdom. Wisdom more than anything else, I ask you to look for and seek wisdom as you look. Because this is the information age, and please know that all information does not inform. So we have to be discerning. Information tells you the what. Knowledge tells you how. But wisdom has a timing element to it. Tells you when. To dramatize my point, I've traveled a lot throughout the Middle East and Far East as well, and one of the symbols for the Middle East is if you can own a camel. Of course you have a car and everything else, and I figured that's a symbol of wealth in the Middle East, and I figured a young prince that I met, I figured was fairly wealthy because he had a whole herd of camel. Don't see too many camel in Lewiston. Well, you don't. So I go to the young prince, I say, can I try one? He says, sure. They had 1-hump camels and they had 2-hump camels. I did not choose a 2-hump camel because you get between those 2 humps, they beat you back and forth as you ride. Not good. I'm a college graduate. That's right. I chose a 1-hump camel. So I get on the 1-hump camel and I say, well, how do you make it go? He says, well, if you want the camel to go, you go whew. If you want the camel to go faster, you go whew. If you want the camel to stop, you tug on its tail. No problem. So I get on a camel, I go, whew, camel takes off. I'm kind of riding along, it's a pretty comfortable ride, that camel hair, you know what I'm saying? But I'm daring. I want to go faster. I go, camera really starts flying. It's going so fast that your face starts pulling back and the force of the air gets you, and your hairline starts receding, you know. That's what happened, you know. Anyway, and we're flying along, right? And I'm starting to panic because we started rapidly approaching a ravine. I'm starting to panic. How do you stop this thing? How do you stop this thing? How do you stop this thing? Then I remember you tug on a tail. I yank on that camel's tail. The camel goes, ah! Screeches to a halt at the edge of the ravine. Relieved, I went, whew. I'll be done in a minute. Doesn't matter how much you know, it's how well you use what you know. Wisdom, wisdom. Seek and look for wisdom. Second lesson is listen. Learn to listen. Listen. See, ears, they do an automatic hearing. Hearing is what the ears do. Okay? It's not an active process. But listening involves the mind and the heart. There's a difference. Hearing is what the ears do, but listening is what the mind and heart does. See, the mind and the heart, they're like parachutes. They're working when they're open. Learn to listen. Because when we're speaking with someone's sharing some information with us, what are they sharing? They're sharing their faiths. They're sharing a list of their faiths. They're sharing a list of their fears when they're speaking with us. They're sharing a list of their faiths and a list of their fears. And they're asking us to take that list that they're sharing with us, they're asking us to take that list in. They're asking us to take that list in. My friends, listen involves the mind and the heart. Hearing is what the ears do, but please learn the art of listening. Third lesson is learn. Now, sometimes people say, well, experience is a good teacher. You'll learn from experience. Not exactly. Because that's why you see people doing the same thing over and over and over again, and then they're surprised, like, well, I get the same results. Hello? You don't learn so much from experience, but you learn from reflecting on that experience with insight. Not just having the experience, you're wise. No. Because if you don't have an insight from that experience, you're bound to do it again and again and again. So I ask you to learn by reflecting on your experience with insight. The fourth lesson is lead. Lead. Having a title does not make you a leader. You lead with vision. You lead with compassion. You lead by diversity, inclusion of ideas. Learn to lead. And I ask you to think about it this way. Learn to lead from within when you're doing without. I'll say that one more time. Learn to lead from doing within when you are doing without. Because sometimes leadership is not a joyful moment, if you will. It can be a lonely journey. It can be the one you have to be the lone voice sometimes saying, no, everyone, this way. It's not always a popular thing. A title does not make you a leader, but having a vision and compassion and conclusion of others really gives you the ability to lead. And understand the difference between having a leadership and having authority. And I say this, authority prevails when leadership fails. There is a difference between leadership and authority, and I encourage you to know that lesson as well as you leave this auditorium. The fifth lesson I want you to learn is this, that is love. It takes strength, love. And I'm not necessarily saying the love like, but love is this. It's like a surfer saying, I love to surf, but I don't like getting wet. Hello. One goes with the other. And when you learn to love and to be loved, then it's sometimes a challenge and a difficulty, but having the strength to work through those difficulties is love. I'd like to say also that we've all gone through amazing things this past year, not only within this school, but within this country as well. And please know that as a 9/11 happened to this country, where people were devastated and shocked. Please know that a 9/11 can also happen in our personal lives as the towers of our beliefs can be crumbled down, as the towers of our relationships can be crumbled down. But what allows you to get through that difficulty of devastation, when those towers in your life fall, what allows you to get through that devastation is faith. 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 I'm reminded of a passage in the book, Hebrews 11:1, where it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Well, I say to you, who has seen the wind? No one. But you see the effects of the wind as the flag unfurls. Faith. Who has seen the wind? No one. But you feel the effects of the wind as it blows against your body. Faith is like the wind, my friends. It's invisible, but you experience it. And that's what allows you to get through those difficulties when the towers in your lives come crumbling down. I'm reminded of a songster, a musician, and all of you are too young to know who this person was. This happened a long time ago as a musician. His name was Cat Stevens. And, don't even try it. Don't even go there, all right? Don't even try it, all right? Y'all know y'all hitting hip-hop and all that. So anyway, the point is this. But he changed his name because he became Muslim. But Cat Stevens had written a song, being that I acknowledge that started this talk with Father's Day. He written a song when he was Cat Stevens. It was entitled Father and Son. And I'd like to share a passage. I'm not going to sing. Don't panic. Don't panic. I want to quit my day job here. But it's a passage I thought may be appropriate for the graduates here tonight. And there's a passage in that song where he says, I was once like you are now, and I know that it's not easy to become when you found something going on. But take your time. Think a lot. Think of everything you've got, for you will still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. Hold fast to your dreams, my friends. Those are special gifts that we have. Hold fast to your dreams. And I say to you, dare to live your dreams. It may not make sense to anyone else. Doesn't matter. They're your dreams. Pursue your passion now. The last thing I'll leave you with is this. I've had a little bit of training in the martial arts and sort of Karate Kid twice, so that was it. So, it worked for me. But training in that sort of situation, you usually have the instructor and the student, or sometimes say the master and the student. And the master is usually all wise, all knowing, and usually correct. It can be frustrating hanging around somebody like that because they don't make a mistake. So the student says to a friend, watch this, I like to see the master wrong at least once. So the student kind of waits and said, the student catches a small bird. And the bird is so small that you can't see it cupped in the student's hands. And the student goes to the master and says, Master, what is it that I have in my hands? And the master, being all wise, all knowing, and usually correct, she answers, New millennium, folks. Get with the program. And plus, I can count. You ain't chasing me back to Lewiston tonight. Get him! So the student goes to the master and says, Master, what is it that I have in my hands? And correctly, the master answers, it is a small bird that you have in your hands. Oh, man. Oh, but master. Master, is the bird alive or dead? See, if the master said this bird is dead, the student would open her hands and the bird would fly out, proving the master wrong. If the master says the bird is alive, the student will squish the hands, killing the bird. Ew. Proving the master wrong. So surely the student does go to the master and says, Master, what is it that I have in my hands? Correctly, the master answers, it is a small bird that you have in your hands. But master, is the bird alive or dead? The master takes a deep breath and looks at that student and says, the future of that bird is in your hands. From this night forward, my friends, your future sits squarely in your hands. So I say to you, let us open our hands and give flight to our dreams. Thank you very much. Great audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. And now, for the moment we have all waited for, the presentation of diplomas. Mr. Pierce, Dean of Faculty, and Mr. Lafreniere, Dean of Students, will read the names and hand the diplomas to Dr. Wall, Mrs. Soychek, Mrs. Levine, Mr. Davis, who will present the diplomas to graduates. The students will then be greeted by their roundtable advisors. We ask that you hold your applause until all the graduates receive their diplomas. And since we have a professional photographer, and so that everybody can see, we ask that all audience members remain in your seats and not move around to take pictures while the diplomas are being given out. Thank you.
Jessica Lee Charity. Entering the workforce. Mark Lewis Martin, entering the workforce. John Leslie Chandler, University of Maine at Orono, Civil Engineering. David Rory McNulty, University of Maine, Orono, Computer Science. Ken Stevens, Central Maine Technical College, Automotives. Joel Anthony LaBelle, Bates College, Philosophy. Amanda Marie St. Pierre, Southern Maine Technical College, South Portland, Culinary Arts. Bellamy Rose Travers, United States Air Force, linguist. Raquel Jean Dudkowitz, taking a year off before college. Benjamin James Bernard, Culinary Institute of America, Hyde Park, New York, Culinary Arts. Bethany Rogers, Word of Life Bible Institute, Schroon Lake, New York. Katie Noel Marois, Mount Allison University, New Brunswick, Canada, Psychology.
Thanks, Mom.
Craig Killinan, New England School of Communication, Bangor, sound recording. Christine Lynn Willett, entering the workforce. Darcy Shabbat, Central Maine Technical College, Auburn, working at Central Maine Medical Center as a CNA, nursing. Nicole Dagno, Central Maine Technical College, Auburn, General Studies, working at St. Mary's Hospital. Jeremy Langlois, United States Navy, Computer Programming. Martin Levin, returning to Germany to complete high school. Nathaniel Reed Norton, University of Maine, Farmington. Melinda Sue Sear, entering the workforce. Amber Dawn Harrison, Central Maine Technical College, Graphic Design. Jesse James Minahan, Dartmouth College, Hanover, New Hampshire, Environmental Science. Kimberly Lee Cash, Emerson College, Boston, Massachusetts, Communication Disorders. Lacey Jean Vero, Suffolk University, Boston, Massachusetts, Criminal Sociology and Law. Angela Dawn Roberts, Thomas College, Waterville, Elementary Education. Michael Giampetruzzi, St. Joseph's College, Wyndham, English. Daniel Ryan Vining, Dean College, Franklin, Massachusetts, Psychology and Social Work. Caitlin Casey Perret, taking a year off. Melissa Ann Akers, working for a year at Poland Spring Inn before college. Timothy Paul Dubois, Thomas College, Waterville, Sports Management. Sarah Patterson Grant, University of Maine Farmington, Early Childhood and Special Education. Justin John Carver, Central Maine Technical College, Sports Management. Shannon Huskins, Central Maine Technical College, Liberal Studies. Danielle Marie Pomelo, LaSalle College, Newton, Massachusetts, Liberal Arts. Joshua Ryan Roy, entering the workforce at Fortin Construction. TJ Stevens, Central Maine Technical College, Automotives. Tyler Bruce Harlow, United States Marine Corps, Military Police. Brian Colby Flint, University of Maine, Fort Kent, Environmental Science. Joshua Capon Sturdivant, Northern Maine Technical College, Presque Isle, Computer Information Systems. Brian Arthur Lowe, University of Maine at Presque Isle. Lauren Michelle Levine, workforce for a semester before entering Central Maine Technical College in Liberal Arts. Charles Charest, Central Maine Technical College, Computer Technology. Joe Chassie, Central Maine Technical College, Culinary Arts. Matthew Joel St. Pierre, Daniel Webster College, Flight Operations, Air Force ROTC. Robinson David Whitney, traveling to Trinidad to build steel drums. Jennifer Lynn Morse, University of Southern Maine, Accounting. Candace Marie Hatt, entering the workforce. Morgan Ann Lewis, University of Maine, Orono, Spanish. Ashley Joy Gauthier, entering the workforce, Hannaford Brothers. Amanda Lee Berry, entering the workforce, St. Margaret Duville Pavilion. Andrew Lawrence Roberts, Collins College, Tempe, Arizona, graphic design. Jeffrey Adam Bossi, workforce for a semester before entering Central Maine Technical College in Computer Technology. Stella Christina Zipp, returning to Germany to complete high school. Boris Garcet, college in Belgium to study economics. Jennifer Lynn Bunker, University of New Hampshire, business. Christopher James Brackett, Central Maine Technical College, Computer Science. Cheyenne Autumn Mercier, Fayetteville College, Fayetteville, North Carolina, early childhood development. Michael Joseph Smith, University of Maine, Orono. Adam Ellis, United States Navy, Intelligence. Jennifer Lynn Jordan, Central Maine Technical College, Nursing. Sarah Ann Brimijan, University of Southern Maine, Pre-Veterinarian Studies. Carrie Roland Ford, Maine Maritime Academy, Castine, Ocean Studies. Justin Michael Gray, Norwich University, Northfield, Vermont, Civil Engineering. Elizabeth Knowles, moving to Idaho. Darcy Joe Goyette, University of Maine, Fort Kent, nursing. Kyle Coolidge, United States Coast Guard, and then Central Maine Technical College, machinist. Nathan Andrew Bailey, University of Southern Maine, English and Spanish. David John Coffin, Northeastern University, Boston, Mass. Communication. Emily Kate Anthony, Central Maine Technical College, medical assistant. Ryan Michael Evans McKinney, University of Maine Farmington, education. Lindsay Eileen Stevens, entering the workforce at Hannaford's College in 2003. Katie Ann St. Hilaire, University of Southern Maine. Adam James Whittier, Johnson & Wales College, Providence, Rhode Island, Sports Events and Entertainment Management. Samantha Lynn Stowe, Fitchburg State College, Fitchburg, Massachusetts, early education. Matthew Clifford Ring, International Academy of Art and Design in Canada, computer animation. Joshua Adam Gallup, Norwich University, Northfield, Vermont, architecture. Angela Ray Belanger, Curry College, Milton, Massachusetts, communication. Jason Michael Wesley, Plymouth State College, Plymouth, New Hampshire, Physical Education. Daniel McKellick, traveling the East Coast on tour. Isaac T. Boardman, School of the Museum of Fine Arts, Film. Michelle Lynn Small, Central Maine Technical College, Nursing. Michael C. O'Connor, Southern Maine Technical College, Building Construction. Stephanie Elizabeth Brown, University of Maine, Orono. Abby May Luttrell, Central Maine Technical College. Chrissy Cox, University of Maine Farmington, Elementary Education. Kimberly Marie Arsenal, Central Maine Technical College, Nursing. Megan Kimberly Kimball, Workforce before entering college. Nathan Young Olson, Johnson & Wales College, Providence, Rhode Island, Sports Management. Trina Lease Downing, University of Maine, Orono. David Benjamin Harvey, United States Navy.
Yes. The class marshals will lead the class in changing of the tassels. To the PRHS band playing Lord of the Dance by Ronan Hardiman.